It's now 2024, and it seems like these days, every single day we come closer to a digital age where everything is purely digital. For example, we have streaming services and digital gaming. Everything these days tends to be digital. So what I want to do in this video is I want to talk to you about all of the physical games that I've purchased for my Nintendo Switch. And the reason I've purchased these games is because at the moment, the majority of Nintendo Switch games at the moment are relatively quite cheap. If you actually look around and do a bit of searching, a bit of price comparing, you'll notice that a lot of Nintendo Switch games are a lot cheaper than you think. I'm picking them up now as I believe in the future Nintendo Switch games are going to rise up in price. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about all of the physical games I've collected. I've got a huge pile right here next to me. I'm going to go through them and I'll talk about the games a bit, and if I like them and if I don't like them, I'll just give you a bit of a quick fire review of each game and a good point about them and a bad point about them, I guess. Here we go, let's do it. The first game I have is Animal Crossing New Horizons. This was, for me, the pandemic game, 2020 when this came out. Definitely got me through the first couple of months of lockdown. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a massive fan of this game. I do like it, but I've never revisited it. After putting it down, after 3 months of playing it every single day, it's fun at first, but it kind of becomes a bit monotonous over time. The DLC for it was great. I quite enjoyed the DLC, but yeah, ever since then, I've never really had the desire to revisit it. I might do that in a video in the future, just because why not? Animal Crossing New Horizons, it's not the best Animal Crossing game in my opinion, but it's still worth getting on Nintendo Switch. It's definitely one of the essential games though. I do think that if you're going to buy any game on Nintendo Switch, this is one of the games to get. Next is ARMS. This is actually really fun. I know a lot of people don't like this game because of how bare minimal the content is in this game, but do you know what? As a two-player game, this is fun. If you just want a couple of hours just to mess around and play something stupid and a bit silly, ARMS is the game for you. You basically fight each other with gigantic stretchy arms in this. It uses the motion controls quite well. It's not the best game on Switch, nowhere near. Kind of feels a bit like a demo in places, but it's fun. Yeah, if you just want a competitive two-player game, ARMS is for you. Next is Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 I think is the worst in the trilogy so far, but I do actually think Bayonetta 3 is really fun. It's a great trilogy, Bayonetta. If you've not had the chance to play them, definitely go play it. Graphically, it's a downgrade in my opinion from Bayonetta 2, but it's still great gameplay. This is a definite game you should get on Nintendo Switch. It's just a great hack and slash beat 'em up game. Bayonetta's a great character. Characters in it are all silly and kooky, and yeah, it's a fun time. Definitely worth picking up this game just for the action, really. And the story, it wraps up everything in the trilogy as well, which is great. That's what I can say about Bayonetta 3. It's a great game, fun. I've got Borderlands 3. I've not actually played this yet, I'll be honest with you. I've only played the first Borderlands game. I'm yet to play this. I'm yet to play Borderlands 2 as well. But Borderlands 3 is a game that I really want to play, so I've bought it for Nintendo Switch. I've heard it's a good port. I've heard it's a bit slow, but I think it will still be fun on Nintendo Switch. I really enjoyed the first Borderlands game, so I should probably enjoy this one. I've heard people say this isn't as good as Borderlands 2, but I've not played Borderlands 2, so I won't be able to tell you. I think this on Nintendo Switch is going to be awesome because, you know, this was an Xbox One game and a PS4 game, so for it to be able to run on the Switch, that's a bit of a miracle in my opinion. Next game is Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Again, believe it or not, I slept on Crash Bandicoot as a child. My brother had a PS1 when we was younger, but we never had Crash Bandicoot for some reason. This for me is kind of a pickup. Purely because I want to get into the series. I know that a lot of people love Crash Bandicoot. Like I said, I've never really been able to gel with it because I've never played it much. But from what I've played so far of these games, it is fun. It's a good platformer. Difficult, very difficult. I don't know if that's just because of the new gameplay, the new style, the new updates to this game that they made in the remake. So I guess this is one for your Switch because this game can be quite cheap if you really look for it. Next game is Dark Souls Remastered. Yes, you can get this on Switch and it works really well. It plays really well. Dark Souls is a game that I played for the first time on Twitch a couple years back, and you know what? It was so fun. I loved Dark Souls. I had to play it again on Switch. This is an absolute masterpiece of a game. If you want a game that is challenging, a game that will literally wear you down to your bone and annoy you to the end of the world, Dark Souls Remastered is absolutely that game. Everybody knows what Dark Souls is these days. I don't really have to explain much about it, but yeah, the fact that this runs on Switch and plays so well as well, yeah, absolutely, this is a must buy. I feel like this might be the rarest version of the game as well, as in the future I feel like this might go for the highest price because I don't think many people actually know this is on Switch, so it's definitely worth picking up. Fire Emblem Engage, a game that I haven't actually played, and there's something really stopping me from playing this game, and it's because I've never heard a single good thing about this game. I'm a bit skeptical to play it. I don't know why I haven't played it yet. I've had it for over a year and it's just been sitting there in my backlog. but I do want to play it, but I don't want to play it because the reason why is because I played through Fire Emblem Three Houses and that game was so good that I feel like if I play this, I might end up spoiling my kind of hype for the series a little bit. Fire Emblem Engage I will play eventually, and I think I might actually make it my next game. I don't know really much to say about it. It looks cool, looks nice graphically, it looks awesome. But Fire Emblem Engage, it's in my backlog at the moment. I will get around to playing it eventually, and I'll let you know what I think in a future video. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Fire Emblem Three Houses is easily one of the best games on Nintendo Switch. I love this game to bits. When I played through it, it took me a while to get into it. I'll be honest with you, it took a couple of hours. It took probably about 15 hours for me to really start enjoying this game, I'll be honest. It's a bit of a slow burn at the start, but I do feel that once it gets going, this game really, really gets going. It's that good in the sense that, yeah, it's amazing. Like, every character in this game is captivating. They feel real. They feel like your friend. They feel like someone you could just talk to and hang out with. You know, every character in this is amazing. Even the villainous characters are great. This game has got loads of hours in it as well. You could easily rack up over 150 hours in this game if you really wanted to, as there's so many different story routes to go through and play. It's definitely recommended on Nintendo Switch. It's a strategy game, but it's also a life simulator in school. Like, it's kind of like being in Hogwarts, I guess. Yeah, Fire Emblem Three Houses, definite must play, very essential. Again, Fire Emblem Warriors, I'm still kind of getting into Fire Emblem, so I've not played this yet either. I will get this. I will get to playing this eventually. Again, I'm just a bit worried about playing it because I know that not many people have said that this is a great Fire Emblem game. I don't know. It looks okay from what I've seen, but I will play it eventually. I know it's a Koei Tecmo game, so it's not technically a mainline Fire Emblem game, but it does look fun. It looks okay. It's kind of a mashup of all the different Fire Emblem characters from the series coming together, I guess. A bit like Hyrule Warriors, if you've played that. It's in my backlog, so eventually I will play it. The next game is one of the greatest gaming trilogies ever, in my opinion, and that is Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy. This comes with Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. 3 amazing games. The best one, in my opinion, is probably San Andreas, then probably Vice City, and 3 being the worst in the trilogy. But that's because they just got better every single release. But to see these remastered, I know that this game did have a rocky release. It wasn't a good remaster, but I know that there's been a lot of updates to this game. Apparently it runs a lot better than it did, and there's a lot of bugs that have been taken out of the game, so I'm looking forward to playing through these again. I love these games to bits. They are so good. I actually played through all 3 of these in lockdown again, so that's the most recent in time I've played through them. Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, excellent purchase, I feel, for the Switch, as I feel that Grand Theft Auto is just a great series in general. Next game is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. What a game this is. I actually really enjoyed this. It builds on that Breath of the Wild arc that Nintendo are pushing right now in the Zelda series. Hyrule Warriors is a really, really fun game if you've not played it. It's a Koei Tecmo game. It's basically a strategy Zelda game where you have to defend bases and stuff like that. Yeah, you get to play as pretty much every single character that's in Breath of the Wild. It's fun. The story's good. It's not canon, unfortunately, this game. It does add a lot of lore to the Breath of the Wild kind of art. Worth playing if you really enjoy Breath of the Wild. Next game is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's fine. To me, this game is just fine. I know a lot of people might be disappointed in me saying that. Kirby is a series that I'm really struggling to get into, I'll be honest with you. I've got most Kirby games. I've got a lot of them on my Wii U. I played the original Kirby game on the Game Boy. This is the first 3D platforming Kirby game. To me, it's just okay. Like, it's fine. I know a lot of people kind of compare this to Mario Odyssey. I don't really feel like it is like Mario Odyssey. It's more of a level-based game. Like, you go through levels and you do platforming and solve puzzles and stuff. And it's fine. It's good. The story is good. It's okay. That's just my opinion of it. I don't love it. And that's just me, unfortunately. It's okay. That's all I'm going to say. I think you might enjoy it if you like 3D platformers. It starts off well, but then it kind of just, for me, it just feels like another 3D platformer with Kirby in it. It doesn't make me want to play it over and over again. But that's just me. Next game in my collection is Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. These 3 games here, honestly, if you haven't played these games, go play them now. Metal Gear Solid, in my opinion, is one of the greatest gaming series ever. Metal Gear Solid 1 to 4, flawless. I love those games so much. Metal Gear Solid 5, not so much. It was okay. It was fine. It was a great open world game. Metal Gear Solid game, not so much. But these 3 games here that are available on this collection, to have them available on Nintendo Switch, just to be able to play them handheld, perfect, absolute perfect games. I love these games so much. Definitely pick up Metal Gear Solid. They are tactical espionage games, and what that means is they are spy thrillers. They're a bit psychological. The boss battles in these games are incredible, especially in Metal Gear Solid 3 and Metal Gear Solid 1. The boss battles are the best part of Metal Gear Solid for me, and the most interesting characters come from the boss battles. I really do love Metal Gear Solid. I had to pick up this game when it came out. It's that good. Next game is one of the best games on Nintendo Switch in my opinion, and that is Metroid Dread. Loved this game. I really did love this game. I loved the challenge of it. I loved the story. I loved how spooky it was in parts. The enemy battles were intense. The map was somewhat linear, but I did enjoy it for that. I quite liked the fluentness of this game. The melee parry attack you can do in this game is fun. It works well. Metroid Dread, if you've never played a Metroidvania, this is a great place to start. It's difficult, so I will advise that maybe get a feel for the Metroid series before playing this, because this is probably one of the more difficult Metroid games in my opinion, to the point where they actually added a Dread mode, which is one hit kill. So if you get hit once, you die. That's quite a bit of a handicap to have in a game like this. Definitely pick up Metroid Dread. It's not the best Metroid game on the Switch though, in my opinion, because the next game I have on my collection is Metroid Prime Remastered, and Metroid Prime Remastered is incredible. This is, in my opinion, the best looking game on Nintendo Switch. Pick up this game purely for the visuals. It's incredible. If you have Nintendo Switch OLED, this game looks incredible. It's just top tier Nintendo Switch. This game really proves that Nintendo Switch is a graphically capable console. I know a lot of people rag on Nintendo Switch for being the weakest of the current generation of consoles. If anything, this game can prove that you don't need a powerful console to have a great looking game. Metroid Prime Remastered really does take one of the greatest games ever made and turns it into something that is just unbelievable to play. Seriously, this is the best way to play the game in my opinion. I loved it. I loved every second of it. It's an incredible Metroid game. It's probably my favorite in the series. Love it. Metroid Prime Remastered, one of the best games on Nintendo Switch. Super essential. Next game is Neo: The World Ends With You. I haven't played this yet, and the reason why is because I've only just recently purchased it. I know this is actually a sequel. I know The World Ends With You is the first game, so I am looking for that game as well. So I think I might just wait and get that game first before I actually play this one. I think I kind of want a bit of context on the story. I know that this is apparently a really fun game and it works well on Switch. Neo: The World Ends With You. I do kind of like my anime JRPG games, so I feel like this is something that I can really sink my teeth into and will enjoy, hopefully. That's in my collection. I feel like this game as well might rise in price, especially with the Switch version. I feel like the Switch version is definitely going to pick up at a later date when it comes to value. Next is one of my favorite games of all time, and that is NieR Automata: The End of Your Her Edition. I played through this in 2022 for the first time, and this game changed my life. It's that good. I don't know what to say about this game, to be honest, because it's a masterpiece. It's so good. The only way for me to kind of explain this game is just go play it yourself and you might understand. There's a bit of like a emotion to this game. There's kind of, it makes you feel things that you never felt before in a weird way. It makes you think about things that are just out of this world. It's an absolute mess mentally. It's an absolute psychological nuke going off in your brain when you play this. So NieR Automata, amazing story, amazing gameplay. Characters are awesome. I loved the characters in this game. Really, really cool visually. It works well on the Switch. This was originally a PlayStation 4 title, so for this to work so well on Nintendo Switch is incredible. It plays so well, honestly, it really does. NieR Automata, really highly recommended. Next game in my collection, keeping up with the JRPG vibes, is Persona 5 Strikers. Persona 5 Strikers is the sequel to Persona 5. Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. I played through that game on PlayStation 4, so I thought I'd pick up Persona 5 Strikers as this is the sequel. This is, it's good. It took me a while to get into this one, actually. The first time I started playing through this, it didn't have that same edge that Persona 5 had, in my opinion, because this is a Koei Tecmo game. It's a bit like Hyrule Warriors in the sense it's a hack and slash strategy kind of style game. Over time, I played more and more of it, and I actually think the story and the gameplay in this is just as good as Persona 5. It's kind of like Persona 5 Lite, this game. That's kind of a way to explain it. Like, it's almost like it's the gameplay and style of Persona 5. The gameplay in this is more of a hack and slash rather than a life simulator and take-turn battle encounter kind of game. It's not a traditional Persona game, so I wouldn't recommend playing this before playing Persona 5 personally. I think if you're going to get a game on the Switch, get Persona 5 Royal first, but Persona 5 Strikers is still worth playing in a way because it's a great game in general. I really love this game. So there, Persona 5 Strikers in my... I do plan on getting Persona 5 Royal on my Switch as well because I want the whole collection. Next game is Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Pikmin 3 Deluxe is really fun. This is a great multiplayer game. I played this multiplayer with my partner and she loved it as well. She really enjoyed it. It's a stressful game, this. It's fun if you really want to have like a tactical strategy game. It works well as a 2-player game. I haven't got Pikmin 4, unfortunately. That is a game I do plan on picking up at some point this year. Pikmin 3 Deluxe kind of helped me understand the Pikmin series. I actually played Pikmin 1 on the Wii years ago. Pikmin 1 was fun. Like, I really enjoyed it. I have never played Pikmin 2, so I thought, while I've got a Switch, I'll get Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and I'll play Pikmin 3 Deluxe before Pikmin 4. I haven't got Pikmin 4 yet. I don't know why I haven't got it yet, because I probably should have it. But this is fun. Yeah, it's a great multiplayer game. It's a great strategy game. Stressful, it's intense, but it's fun, it's cute, it's cuddly. There's a lot of stuff going on in this game. It's funny. There's just lots going on for it, and I really enjoyed it. Next game is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. I haven't finished this, and the reason why is because it's bad. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond it's mid. It's not a good game in my opinion. It's so slow. Like, it just feels so clunky to play this game. Like, it's just not fun. The character models, the chibi style just didn't do it for me. I was so disappointed with this remake. I thought I'd play it, try it out. It was okay at first, and then I just got bored because there's just nothing really going for it for me. Didn't finish it. I probably should finish it because I am a Pokemon fan. I like to have my fully evolved Pokemon and my Pokemon home. Yeah, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Unfortunately, I can't see myself going back to this anytime soon. So yeah, let's just put it over here. However, I have got Pokemon Legends Arceus, and do you know what? Yeah, this is a good game. Pokemon Legends Arceus is extremely fun. It's an open area Pokemon game. I feel like this game kind of set the stone for games like Power World. Pokemon Legends Arceus is basically an open area Pokemon game where you get to go around and hunt Pokemon. You catch Pokemon, and it's kind of like it tells the story of the origins of Pokemon, how trainers kind of come to become friends with Pokemon. This game, in my opinion, is the hardest Pokemon game there is. It's quite difficult at points. The fighting Pokemon in this game is almost like Dark Souls in a way. You have highly level Pokemon everywhere, and your Pokemon quite weak. They get battered. I think, yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus is one of the more difficult Pokemon games in my opinion, but it's so fun because of that. It's rewarding, and the Pokemon in this game are great. Points, it kind of feels like a bit of a tech demo for what future Pokemon is going to be. Now that we've had Pokemon Legends Z to A announced, I feel like they're going to improve on the Legends formula. So Pokemon Legends Z to A, I feel like, is going to be bigger and better. So if you're looking forward to that game in 2025, this is definitely a game to pick up and buy because it will kind of set you up for that game. Pokemon Legends Arceus is one of the best games on Switch in my opinion. Very good. I've got Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon Scarlet isn't mine, it's my partner's, but Pokemon Violet is mine. We got both of these so that we could collect all the Pokemon and trade and play multiplayer. It's good. It's a good Pokemon game in my opinion. I actually really enjoyed these. I know a lot of people say they weren't great games, but I did actually quite enjoy them. I'll be honest. I enjoyed Violet for what it was. It was a first attempt by Game Freak to make an open world Pokemon game. Yeah, it could have been better, absolutely. You know, with the amount of money that Game Freak have and Nintendo and Pokemon Company have, I'm sure they could make a way better Nintendo Switch Pokemon game with the money they have. Yeah, these were fun for the time. I haven't got the DLC for these, and I don't really plan on going back to them, I'll be honest. I'll probably just wait for the next Pokemon game to be released. They're good for what they are, I guess. They're very essential. If you want a Pokemon game on your Switch, I'd actually think that these are probably the Pokemon games to get, just because they're kind of easier to digest than, say, Legends Arceus, which is a bit more hardcore in my opinion. It's more of a hardcore Pokemon game, whereas these are more for casuals. So if you've never played Pokemon or you want to get into the series and you have a Nintendo Switch, these are a good starting point, I actually think. Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, open world Pokemon games. They've got an okay story, nothing massively major or groundbreaking, but they're fun, yeah. And also I have Pokemon Sword, which is again okay. Pokemon Sword has a terrible story in my opinion. It's so slow. The characters in this game are so annoying, especially I forget the name of the character, the rival in this game, the kid who you grow up with in the hometown who follows you, who never seems to stick with you. He runs on ahead and gets in your way every 10 seconds. This game is just, it's okay. Like, if you want a Pokemon game and you just want a normal formulaic Pokemon game, probably the best best formulaic Pokemon game on the Switch. Yeah, I didn't love this. I didn't love Pokemon Sword. I kind of was glad when I finished it because I didn't have to play it anymore, and that's not a good sign. I've never returned to it since I have finished it with the time I had with it. It's not the best Pokemon game on Switch by any means. I still think Legends Arceus is probably the best game on Nintendo Switch for Pokemon. It's there, it's in my collection, purely because it's Pokemon, really. Next game I have is Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster. Not played this, but it's a great find. This is more because I feel like this game is going to skyrocket in value in the future. But yeah, I'm a huge Persona fan. I enjoy Persona, so I feel like this is going to be for me. I know these are kind of more like hardcore Persona games. I guess that's the reason why I bought it, is because I want the challenge. I want to get more into Shin Megami Tensei lore and everything that happens in that kind of universe I want to learn more about. So that's one of the reasons why I picked up this. I've also got Shin Megami Tensei 5 as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this, especially now that the DLC has been announced for it. I haven't actually played this yet, and the reason why I haven't played it yet is because now that I know that the DLC is coming out for this, the Vengeance DLC, I'm definitely going to wait for that to be released and then play it. I know apparently this is a really difficult game for Persona fans who want to get into the Shin Megami Tensei side of the universe. Yeah, I think this is a great starting point, especially on Switch, as this is the most recent Shin Megami Tensei game. I'm looking forward to playing this. Can't really say much about it, I'll be honest, because I haven't played it, but Persona's great, so I'm hoping this is good. Next game is Splatoon 3. I'm going to disappoint you guys. I'm going to be completely honest. This is my least favorite out of the trilogy. Splatoon 2, in my opinion, has been my favorite. I've enjoyed Splatoon 2 more. I regrettingly got rid of Splatoon 2 in my collection. I really wish I kept it now, because you've got the DLC for that game, which is free with Nintendo Switch Online. So I really wish I kept Splatoon 2. But I do have Splatoon 3, and I've not put anywhere near as much hours into this game as I did with Splatoon 2. And I don't know why that is. I don't know, I never clicked with this one as much as I did with Splatoon 2 and 1. It's fun, yeah, when you play it, but I don't know, there's just something about it. I've just not got into it. Maybe one day when there's nothing else to play, I'll get really into this. It's not as good, in my opinion, as the last two games. I'm probably really wrong there, and you guys probably are like grinding your teeth at me for that, but that's just my opinion. I'm sure it's great, but for me, it's just not clicked. But it's there in my collection. This game is probably the rarest game in my collection, and that is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. This game you can't get new anymore. Nintendo stopped making copies of this back in March 2021. Yeah, it's Mario. It's the three best Mario games in my opinion. The reason I actually got it was because of Mario Sunshine, which is available on this game, and Mario Sunshine might actually be my favorite Mario game. I really enjoyed Mario Sunshine, even though it's very flawed as a game. It controls terribly, it's glitchy as hell, but there's something about Mario Sunshine that I really loved. I love all three of the games on this collection, and in my opinion, they are the best three Mario games, so yeah, had to pick up this. Especially with it being on limited release. You know, I feel like this is the most valuable game I have at the moment, and the only thing I will say about this game is I really wish Nintendo added Super Mario Galaxy 2 to it to add the full collection. That would have been great. Nintendo, why did you not do that? Next game in my collection is Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite games on Switch. I really enjoyed this game. There's moons everywhere. This is basically Super Mario 64 on steroids. It's great. I love this. It's an open area game. Every world is huge and lots to do in it. There's missions galore in this. Literally everything you do in this game usually results in some kind of reward. Super Mario Odyssey, one of the best Switch games in my opinion. A lot of people say this is the best Mario game. I don't think it is, in my opinion. I don't think it is the best Mario game. One of the best Nintendo games of all time, sure, definitely. I don't think it's the best 3D Mario game. Like I say, I think Mario Sunshine, in my opinion, was more fun because I felt like it had a bit more character to it. I don't know, that's just my opinion. But Super Mario Odyssey is really good. Honestly, it's one of the best Nintendo Switch games. This was a release title and it stands up today, so definitely play it. And then, of course, more Mario. I have Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, this is peak Mario. This is the best 2D side-scrolling Mario game ever, in my opinion. I know a lot of people really love Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World, but this, in my opinion, has eclipsed those games by a margin. This game is so creative and so fun. If you ever played the Rayman Legends music levels, this game is basically that all the way through it. It's so creative. The game should have been released a lot sooner than it was. I love it. It's so good. Visually, it's great as a 2D side-scrolling game. Plays really well. well. It's fun, and if you want a really good multiplayer game, this works really well as a multiplayer game. It adds a lot more chaos and fun to it. It's worth playing this game, just because it's one of the best Mario games there is, and it was only released last year. Next game is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, one of the first games I ever got on my Switch. I think it's what might actually been the first game on my Switch. This is a gaming hall of fame in my opinion. Everything about this game is about a celebration of gaming as a whole, all pushed into one small cartridge of hundreds and hundreds of hours of gameplay with different characters from different franchises and series all coming together to duke it out and fight, and all the different stages and worlds you can visit in this, and the gameplay is super fun. You could say this is the best Super Smash Bros. Game. If you've never played a Super Smash Bros. Game, the idea is that you take two characters from gaming series, you fight them, the more damage you do, the more likely you are to fly off the screen. If you fly off the screen, the opponent gains a point. That's the idea of the game. It's simple fun, pick up and play gameplay, worth playing, one of the best games on Nintendo Switch. There's so many hours of fun in this. It's incredible how much they could fit into this game. I don't think I've even seen everything that's available to play in this game. So Super Smash Bros. Ultimate must play, especially with how many characters and stages there are in this game. For example, there's Minecraft Steve, Sora from Kingdom Hearts, Metal Gear Solid Snakes in there, and you've basically got the majority of Nintendo's mainline roster available to play in this game. So yeah, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, one of the best games to pick up. Although, why the hell is Waluigi not a playable character in this game? Come on, Nintendo. Next game is possibly my favorite game on Switch, and this is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Incredible game. Incredible. This was the release title that made me get a Nintendo Switch. Incredible Zelda game. Reinvented the series. It took the Legend of Zelda series from being quite formulaic, linear, story based, and turned it into an open world series where you basically have a whole world to explore and do what you want. It's an open world game. It's creative in the fact that the game is almost like a little bit of a sandbox. You can play with the world as much as you want and become creative with how you attack enemies and use your runes. Yeah, it's an awesome Zelda game. It's not my favorite Zelda game ever in my opinion, but this is just, it's next level of gameplay really. However, as you'll see later, this game has been eclipsed with a future Zelda game, which came out later down the line. It came out last year, and I will talk about that game in a bit. You already know what it is. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, one of the best games on Nintendo Switch. If you haven't played it yet, definitely go pick it up. Of course, the next game is Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is a remake of the Game Boy version of Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening is super fun. It's a great chibi style toy-like game. It's top-down 2D, but I will say that this game isn't for the faint of heart. I think this game doesn't handhold you at all. I think if you've never played like an old school Zelda game, you might find this one a bit tough to digest because, like I say, it doesn't handhold you at all. You have to look up guides or use the hint phone guy character, I forget his name. You have to really work out what you have to do in this game. It can be quite tough and quite off-putting for some people if they just want a fluent game just to play where you don't really have to think much. It can be quite challenging in parts as well. The 2D style is finicky a little bit in places, but it's still very fun. I enjoyed it. I think it's a great remake of the original Link's Awakening, and it's one of the best Zelda games in regards to remakes. Art style, I love the art style. Visually, this game is very impressive, so definitely don't miss out on Link's Awakening. And also a Legend of Zelda Remaster, which is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. This is one of my least favorite Zelda games there is. However, I will say that this game, the Switch version, definitely improved my opinion on this game. At first, when I played it on the Nintendo Wii, it was fun for the time, and then after I finished it, I realized how much I didn't like the game, just purely because of the motion controls, which didn't work in my opinion. But they fixed all that for this version on Switch. You can now use button controls to play the game, and while they don't work perfectly, they still work okay. Once you work out how to really use the button controls, the gameplay is fine. The only thing I will say is that it's a bit of a slog of a game in parts. The story is great, absolutely great. The characters are really good in this. There's some really good character arcs, such as Groose, who has a really good character arc in this, and it's the first game in the Zelda timelines. If you want to get into the Zelda series, this is actually a really good starting point because you can really find out how the whole franchise as a whole starts and the meaning behind some of the stuff like the Master Sword. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD is a great game for that, but it's not a good Zelda game in the fact that it's a bit standard as a Zelda game in my opinion, and the controls are just a bit here and there. But no, I wouldn't sleep on this. It's still a good game. And of course, the one that I was talking about earlier, and that is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Right, I'm going to be honest, and I'm not trying to jump on a bandwagon here, because I've said this since I finished the game. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with this game. It's okay. That's all it is to me. It's just okay. It's Breath of the Wild 2. That's exactly what it is. That's what it was marketed as. It's just more Breath of the Wild. It's a bigger scale Breath of the Wild. It's basically Breath of the Wild times 3. You have 3 maps instead of the 1 map. In my opinion, if they had just moved the game to a different location outside of Hyrule, I would have loved this game so much more, because the biggest issue I have with this game is that the map is exactly the same apart from all of the sky islands and the depths which you can enter. Hyrule as itself, Hyrule Kingdom, is just it's been there, done that for me. There wasn't much more to explore and do. There's changes to go and see, but once you've seen those changes, like for example Tarry Town has extended, it's bigger, Hiteno Village has been taken over by this like fungus kind of fashion. Once you've got through all of that, it's just Breath of the Wild again, and that's kind of disappointing to me. They fix a lot of the flaws from Breath of the Wild, such as weapons breaking and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that is good about this game. Boss battles are much better in this game as well, and the dungeons are a tad better, and still not as good as, say, the dungeons in like Skyward Sword or Ocarina of Time, but they are better than the ones in Breath of the Wild. So if you're going to choose either the two, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, I would say get Tears of the Kingdom first. If you really want to know the context of the game, then you do have to play Breath of the Wild, which is annoying because I feel like this game kind of makes Breath of the Wild a little bit obsolete now. There's no real point in playing Breath of the Wild when you can play Tears of the Kingdom, but the story is there, and yeah, if you really want to know everything that's going on in Tears of the Kingdom, you do have to kind of play Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom, still think it's an amazing game. I've sunk easily 200 hours into this game. It's definitely not my favorite, and I definitely don't think I like it better than Breath of the Wild in my opinion. And finally, I have Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Now, I haven't actually played this, I'll be honest with you. I'm planning to get all 4 Xenoblade Chronicles games that are available on Switch, so I will be picking them up first before I actually sink my teeth into this, because I want to do a full stint and play through the whole thing. I know that's so many hours and so much gameplay, but I just want to do the whole stint of the trilogy, so that's what I'm looking to do. So eventually I will pick up 2, 3 and play them as well. I'm just glad I have this in my collection because I know that this is a great game, and while I haven't played it yet, so I can't really give a review on it, I think this game is going to be one of those games again that skyrockets in value, because everyone forgets there's a remaster of this game on Nintendo Switch. I feel like this is going to be a good game to have in your collection because of the value of it. So Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, looking forward to playing this just because I want to know more about it. Whew, that was all of my collection. However, I do have my partner's collection as well, which I thought you might want to see. These are some more games here. This is going to be a very long video to edit, I know it, but it'll be fun when it's done. Let me have a swig of my drink. Okay, here we go. So these are the family games that we have. These are my partner's games, really, but these are kind of just games that we play as a family. So if we're ever bored in the evening, like just chilling out, these are games we can play. For example, we have 51 Worldwide Games. I know this has got a different name in America, but 51 Worldwide Games is a collection of board games and fun games from around the world that are on your Nintendo Switch. This is actually really fun. New Year's Eve, we had a lot of fun playing this. We played a lot of games, just for example, playing games like chess and yak, line game and poker and stuff like that. It's fun. This is really, really, really good digital game to have, because if you want a game that is something to play when you're bored and got nothing else to play multiplayer wise, this is a great go-to because you can just play it. Must have. Next game is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Yeah, I had this on Wii U actually, so I'd already played through this game on the Wii U before my partner got this game on Nintendo Switch. This is a really good Mario spin-off. It's based on the Captain Toad levels from Super Mario 3D World. If you've played those, they are some of the best levels in my opinion from that game, and this is basically a game full of that. This is actually quite a entertaining puzzle game, and in the later levels this game actually gets really difficult. So Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, don't snarl at this game because it's actually really worth playing. Next is a game I don't think I've ever played, and that is Just Dance 2021. Yeah, this is the 2021 edition of Just Dance. I don't dance. But everyone knows what Just Dance is. It's a dancing game. You use motion controls to play it. There's a lot of songs on here that are great, and you can download the expansion, which gives you all the songs from every single Just Dance game ever for a small fee or membership, I think it is. Just Dance 2021 isn't a game for me, but is for my partner. She enjoys it. Next is Leightons Mystery Journey. This is a game that I haven't played. I think this was a mobile game actually before it was a Switch game. But yeah, this is a Professor Layton spin-off. This is the only available Professor Layton game that's actually on Switch at the moment. I know there is a proper mainline Professor Layton game coming out on Switch, which I might actually get myself because I've never played a Layton game all the way through. But Layton's Mystery Journey, I know this is kind of like a Professor Layton light title, but I actually think this game actually might rise in value because I know that some people don't know this game exists on Switch. So I think this might actually rise in value when it comes to a later date for Nintendo Switch games. So look out for that, I guess. If you ever see it, look out for this game and maybe consider it. So I don't think it's actually that expensive right now. Next game that my partner owns is Little Friends Dogs and Cats. This is a budget version of Nintendogs. It's the closest thing to Nintendogs on Switch. I don't know why Nintendo haven't made a Nintendogs on Switch. Why? That's a game that really should have been made. I don't get that. Maybe the popularity of Nintendogs isn't there anymore. I don't know. I feel like Nintendo definitely should have capitalized on that because I feel like they could have made a bit of money on Nintendogs on Switch. But Little Friends Dogs and Cats is the closest you'll get to that. I think we've played this once, in all honesty. There's some dog in this game that's just been neglected, sorry. But Little Friends Dogs and Cats, I wouldn't recommend it myself, but there was obviously a reason we brought it because I guess we wanted that Nintendogs fix. And next up is the most essential Nintendo Switch game in my opinion, and that is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I guess you were probably waiting for me to say, why have you not got this in your collection? This is here. This is easily one of the best games on Nintendo Switch, if not the best. Best Mario Kart game ever in my opinion. I love this game to bits. I think I've got every single vehicle in this game now. I've got all the DLC for it. Amazing. It's so good. It's incredible. This game has literally every single track that you can think of. The best tracks in the whole series. They're on this cartridge. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, easily the best Mario Kart game on there. There's nothing you can go wrong with Mario Kart. Having a group of friends playing this with you is just a great time. So definitely worth playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. What a game. I've played this game twice on a cinema screen actually because I used to work in a cinema, and yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was just incredible on the cinema screen. It looks visually amazing and plays so well. Had a lot of fun playing this game with friends and family, so definitely worth getting Mario Kart 8. It's the game to get on Nintendo Switch. Next is Nintendo Switch Sports. Played it like 3 times I think. It's okay. It's Nintendo Switch Sports. What can I tell you? It's not as good as the original Wii Sports, nowhere near. I don't feel like this game plays as well. I feel like the sports that are available to play in this game aren't anywhere near as good as the original 5 games from Wii Sports, and even the Wii Sports Resort, which was a far better game than this. I don't know, I feel like Nintendo fudged this game a little bit. I think they feel like they were building another game and then they decided just to turn it into Nintendo Switch Sports just to make a bit of money out of it. I know this game sold quite well. I don't know, I just don't think it's got the lasting legacy that the original Wii Sports has got, and I think Nintendo have realized that, hence why they've stopped making content for it. I feel like they were going to add way more sports to this game, but they never did. It's fine to play, but it's not as good as the original Wii Sports in my opinion. It doesn't play as well. I don't know, the controls just aren't as good and it doesn't feel as nice to play. And I hate the fact that they got rid of the Mii's, what gave us the sports mates, I think they're called. That's the problem. Like, I don't even know what they're called. Like, they're just not as iconic or visually pleasing to look at as the original Mii's from the Wii era. Nintendo Switch Sports is just something else that's not as good. I guess it's that game in the series. Get it if you really want to as a collection. It comes with a leg strap which you can use to play football. And of course, another game that comes with a leg strap is Ring Fit Adventure. This I feel like is going to rise high in value one day. Fit Adventure is a game that I played for 6 weeks straight doing a fitness routine, and it did actually help with my cardio a little bit. Ring Fit Adventure is really fun. I like this game a lot, and I really want them to make a sequel to this that improves on every aspect. While this game doesn't really have a great story to it, it's not really the story counts. The story is you getting fitter, if you know what I mean. Ring Fit Adventure is just a way to enjoy fitness and and make it fun. It comes with a ring, which I have somewhere, which you use to stretch and exercise with. It's a peripheral which only really works for this game. But yeah, Ring Fit Adventure, definitely pick it up now, as I feel like if you're collecting Nintendo Switch games, this game might skyrocket in the future. This got me through some strange days after coming out of lockdown, when I was feeling a bit bad and flabby in my body and not feeling healthy. This got me through those days. And the final game in the collection, and this is Sports Party. Yeah, this is a rip-off Wii Sports Nintendo Switch sports game. It's by Ubisoft, so it's got a bit of money behind it, I guess, but I guess they tried to capitalize on the Wii Sports genre and try to make like a collection of sports games available on Switch. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It plays terribly. It feels like a shovelware game. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone personally. Whew. Oh my god, I don't even know how many games I've got there to count, but that's a lot, and this is going to be a hefty video to edit. But yeah, there we go. That is my collection. If you are interested, and if you've gotten this far into the video and you've enjoyed what I've spoke about, you know, thank you for watching, I guess. Please do like, comment, subscribe. I make more videos like this. I am currently building the collection on my Switch. I am new to this kind of game of collecting Switch games and collecting games in general, so yeah, look out, as I'm kind of making this my focus of the channel, game collecting. So yeah, there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you've liked this video, please check out this video right here. There we go. It's a great video. I put a lot of effort into these videos, so I do appreciate it if you watch them, and I shall see you for the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.